Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Thump.
Oh, I switched I made a new room. Hold on, everybody. Christ.
Heavens. Can they hear us? We're live?
Technology me. I tell you, I used to love it, but
I'm getting a Mountain Dew ad. I can't
the
even.
more as humans corrupt it, the worse it gets.
They say.
There we go. And now everybody else. There we go. Yep. There we are.
Oh.
We arrived in the building.
Right in the building.
We are. Welcome, everybody, to KTLG. It's July 10th, the last day of our Kickstarter. And we're just doing a quick afternoon spiel, and then we're going to jump back on tonight at 8 to walk it across the prairie.
What time does it end, Central?
It ends 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So what is that, 7 hours or something like that? The Kickstarter thing is always a little weird because it says 6 hours, but it's actually 6 hours. And
They pin another hour on at the very end.
Yeah, and it's minutes. And
yeah, it's like whatever.
Land of the plane. Yes, land of the plane.
Instead of microseconds. What's the least? I don't know.
Is
Picoseconds.
that what a smaller microsecond is?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
What are they called?
Picoseconds.
Picoseconds. Nice.
What?
What's the
Never
smallest?
heard of that.
I don't know. It's probably very small.
Very small. That is what the measurement is.
It's like you have a Planck length, so there has to be a Planck second.
The smallest measurement is rounded to 0. That's
So Lion Dub GM says I'm a fan of femtoseconds. I'm not sure what that is,
I
but
don't know either. But we
you know, Jerry and I worked so much on durations today on spells that maybe we should just change everything to the femtoseconds.
zeptoseconds is one. The zeptosecond is 1/trillionth of 1/billionth of 1 second. A zeptosecond.
How can you even measure that? What does that even mean?
It's just silliness, is what it is.
I can't believe the Kickstarter's done this good today. It is roaring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should probably.
Yeah, we should. Well, first, we got
Stop talking about time.
You like that subtle point there? I just kind of threw in.
to the minus 12 power. That's pretty good.
Do what?
That's what a picosecond is. 10 to the minus 12 power.
Wow.
But yes,
I
as
would not
Chuck alluded to, we have a Kickstarter running right now. This is the last day for the Kickstarter. It is Castles and Crusades Reforged, and in that you will find the Player's Handbook, the Castle Keeper's Guide to the Monsters and Treasure, and Beneath the Canopy Green. I think I want to change the title of that to Beneath a Canopy Green. I like A better than V. I don't know why, but
Wait, what? What are you changing it to? What?
No, don't change it. Don't change it.
Beneath the Canopy Green is what it's.
V makes it sound more personal. V is a proper noun. A canopy green makes it more generic.
What is the canopy green?
It's the forest.
Well, it's the canopy green.
That's a
There's
shocker.
There's a lot of
Not
levels
just
going on in that
some
title.
random-
That's a real thinker. That's just a trees.
It is. It's the trees. You're in the darkenfold. You are
Johnny Omaha says, I think I love that no club has 1d6 plus 1 damage.
Did we ever change that? I don't even know.
Yes, I did. I went in and
Oh,
I changed it.
okay.
Yeah, he made sure of it.
I made it so that there's a generic club, which is the one that
Hey.
costs no money, and it's shit.
So
And
I
made
want
the
to
great
throw this,
club.
I want to throw this out there, and we can't really show everybody, but we did a Kickstarter last year called The Adventurer's Armory, and we just released the first 40 pages of that today to the backers. And the first actual section of The Adventurer's Armory, it's got 1,000 weapons and arms.
Do you want to show it to him?
Hold on, Chuck. The first section in it is clubs, and I gotta say, those clubs are badass looking. Peter did a great job drawing those things. They look very, very.
I can show it off if you want, pretty easily.
You can't show the whole PDF, can you?
I can show the PDF on screen because I was doing it this morning.
No. Well, we don't. No. I mean, I don't know what that means. I don't know.
It
what that
means
so
I
no.
can show that page. I can show that.
You're
Page.
talking strange words. To
I
me.
can display the
Hold
page.
on.
I can display the page if you want me to.
Well, there's like 8 pages of clubs. If you want to display one of those pages, that's fine. But
Just
no,
curious what
let's
you're
not.
talking
Let's. If people want to see that, they're going to have to, pick the book up or have back to the Kickstarter, which is a definite. If it is a definite, if you want to see the Player's Handbook, go back this Kickstarter now. And
I was talking about the Adventurer's Armory and
Oh.
trying to ensue
The
sales. But that's
generic
fine.
club does 1d2 damage.
It does what? How
The
much?
generic club does 1d2 damage.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I got the player's handbook, 10th printing.
Player's
open.
handbook says differently.
What does it say?
Watch this.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, look it up
Give me a
for us.
minute. I can scroll through all this craziness. The club.
Yeah.
We've got 2 clubs, Davis.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it.
We've got. Oh man. We've
I
got
gotta
the
find
club.
That thing.
Club
That
does- The club does 1d3 points of damage,
okay.
and the great club does 1d6 plus 1 points of damage.
Yep. Sounds about right.
1d6. What?
Plus
Plus
one.
one.
Those are numbers.
Is
You
there
have a
anything-
club doing 1d6 points.
It already had that. It already had that.
Yeah, it's a
Davis,
great
wait,
club.
wait.
2 hands.
Listen, so I absolutely hate those 2. We have a few weapons. We have the Great Scimitar and the Great Club, and it just drives me crazy because it's
No, I added the Great Club.
Oh, did you?
That did
Okay.
not exist before. But
Yeah.
but I wanted there to be the free version of the club, but also the club that everyone's used to.
Right.
So the
Got
club
it.
that everyone's used to is now the Great Club, and the free version of the club is the.
How about this? I'm
23.
going to change this a little bit. Davis,
Chess
can I,
club.
is there a club?
I
Davis.
honestly, at the end of the day, don't give a shit what you
I
do.
know you don't, but Davis, is there a club in your Adventurer's Armory that is iron studded? Or does that become a mace?
That's a mace.
Okay.
Just leave it. Just don't change it. Don't change it.
I'm not going to call it the Great Club, though. The Greater Club. No, I'm kidding.
We'll call it a war club.
How about in caps
exemplary
the
club.
club? How about the
How
club?
about Spiked Club? Is there a Spiked Club, Davis?
That's a
That's a
speculated
mace.
mace. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
What didn't Negan have nails in his baseball bat in the Walking
He
Dead?
did.
You're
He
not
did.
giving
He
people a
did.
Negan bat. No.
Dude, give it Negan. We're gonna call it the Negan Club.
Okay. Yeah. You
Negan
can-
No,
club.
don't. Do not do that. That is not funny. Do not do that.
That would be amazing, Jeremy. It's a homage.
Call it a great club or a war club.
I think we need to put Negan on the wiki.
That's
Wait.
There.
There's some good suggestions in here.
What do we got?
Call it the Battle Club.
Hurricanes
The School
Club.
Club.
We've got the Great Club, the Dance Club, Chess
The
Club.
dance club. The dance off.
We do the Chess Club, Generic Club, Table Leg. All kinds of stuff in here.
A spiked baseball bat from the Escape from New York, the stupid zombie show. Stop
Yeah, no shit, man. That's exactly right.
Just an FYI, clubs were capped at 4 points of damage. Or 5. The largest club is 2 to 5 points of damage.
In that book, right?
it. It's called Club, comma,
Battle Club. Battle Club.
There you go. All right. At any rate, all of these club discussions aside,
I do have a question.
what's that? Fire.
This sort of it's involved with what we're discussing. But will these match up with the Amazing Adventures damages on their weapons? Just curious.
Yes.
I like that curiosity.
They should. I don't know. Now
I put it in the player's handbook. I did not do it in the Amazing Adventures.
Amazing Adventure. Jason did change some of his damages to better fit that stuff, but I
Okay.
think he took
Just
most
curious.
of the equipment from the player's handbook. I think. I'm not going to swear to that.
Yeah.
But basically, you can do any damage you want.
But hey, if you don't,
I'm hearing
you
a-
just buy the
a
player's
clicking
handbook for CNC and you
noise.
use it in the AA game.
There you go.
Does anyone else hear like static, or is that my headphones?
I hear
Now.
no static.
No, I don't hear any static.
So we have a question here from Christopher House. What has changed in CNC? Because, geez, it's getting expensive to go. So essentially, if you've got any of the previous printings, you're good to go. What we basically
Yeah.
changed was the layout, the format of the spells section, and we changed about 20% of the names were changed in the spells. The magic stuff in the book, monster book, was probably completely rewritten, but the names mostly stayed the same. A little bit of change, and then the monster book's going to have just a ton of art, an absolute ton of art.
Hey,
The magic item section was almost completely rewritten, and most of the item names had to be changed. So
It was rewritten, but the items still do the same thing.
they are mechanically identical.
Yeah, mechanically identical, so it's not going to, mess up what you got. Troll hound not happy about it. Yeah, that's Chuck's dog barking at Lord knows what.
Nah, who knows? That's a little one. He's the boss of the compound.
I have like Pavlovian condition now after today to be like, not hounds. Stop.
Too many hounds in C&Z.
Mm.
Hey, I have a theory. I just came up with it, and it's probably done already.
Yes.
But white skin needs hair to protect itself from the sun.
Oh, light skin, Roger.
Light skin, yeah.
Okay.
And
Where are
that's
you
just
going with it?
theory.
Yeah. Because I'm sitting here looking, I realize, oh, my face is red because I got no hair on it except right here, and then it's all white, and my hands are white, where I'm freaking hairy as a goddamn monkey. I'm just the hairiest human being ever.
I'm not sure where that came from.
So
No, I was thinking about UV radiation, and I was
As you do. As
you do when we're discussing CNC.
like radiation, and then I was thinking, well, skin cancer. So you have to protect yourself, and melanin does that to a certain extent, right?
I don't know anything about any of that.
Anyway,
I literally know nothing. I literally don't. I have no idea.
it's
What,
just,
I
I
don't know.
don't know. It's just a
that's
thought.
awesome. I have no clue what you're speaking right
No,
now.
I mean, I thought melanin was that stuff that the Jedis use to do the force thing. Is that no? That's mitochondria.
Did you say to do the forcing
Those are-
or force
I don't
Those
thing?
know.
are metachlorians.
Metachlorian.
Steve's over here driving around. I don't know.
I don't know.
Hormones are used for divorcing. That's
There
it.
you go. We do have a question. Beneath the Canopy Green is the collected C series. Are the republished A series OGL free? If not, will those be? Yes, they are OGL free. We cleaned all that stuff out before we did this. Now, there were some final changes made in the stuff that we've done on the Player's Handbook that may not line up completely with the Undying War, but it's 90% lined up without a doubt. And that would just be spell names.
Right.
But yes, so it is OGL free.
Oh, real quick. I didn't announce this to everybody, but we are doing a small giveaway here real quick. So if you want to join on the giveaway over here on Twitch at twitch.tv/trollergames, just come over and give us a follow and give us do an exclamation point raffle. There's a link for everybody that's on the other platforms. You can click that and join us if you want to, just to enter the raffle. You don't have to. Just throwing that out there. And yes, Christopher House, that's basically what we're doing. We're stripping the OGL out. You had another question there, but I didn't quite understand it. When will you give starting its own book series? I'm not sure what he's asking about.
When will what?
I think he missed a word there. Something says, when will you give starting its own book series? I'm assuming he's trying to say something else, but it's probably coming through wrong. But if you'll just answer us, we'll get it back. We'll get your question answered.
If you just answer us, we'll get a question to you.
We'll ask you a question, Christopher.
Star Siege.
Johnny Omaha, yeah, anything, man. It don't matter. As long as it's related to one of our products, we'd be happy with it. You can do it in Greyhawk, you can do it in Aired. You know what is it?
When will you
whichever.
give Star Siege its own book series? Is the question.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So when Amazing Adventures rolls off the presses, which should be the next couple of months, Jason will go back in. Star Siege is first on his list to go back in and clean up. And since it's mostly done, he just has to go in and make sure everything lines up with what Amazing Adventures is done. And then Star Siege will be out. So really this logjam that we have had for a while we're about done with it. We're about finished with it. And once this stuff starts moving again, there's going to be a nice little flood of products.
Yeah. Oh,
Very, very cool.
and Johnny, I see your question out. My suggestion would convert the Mode House, the Village of Hamlet. That's a pretty simple conversion over to CNC. He's wanting to run
Greyhawk
something in Greyhawk for the Greyhawk Con that's coming up. We're sponsored, but do CNC. That's a pretty simple. Hmm.
No, that's
No.
generic.
That was generic.
And then they eventually put it in Miss
Keeping the
Star.
Borderlands was Greyhawk, wasn't it?
No, that's generic too.
No, all that
is it?
was generic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, I think a lot
the
of
land or whatever.
Eventually, they retconned it into Greyhawk, but when it was originally released, it was just in a generic fantasy world.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I would do right off the top of my head. I run a lot of AD&D games in CNC, but then mine are campaign design, so the bigger ones are fine. But for something short, online, tournament,
You should
or not
run.
tournament, con.
You should run all of Temple of Elemental Evil, all of it,
Oh, pay no attention to him. No,
in
do
one
not.
setting, and then when they reach the bottom floor, you hit them with the Tomb of Horrors. That's what you do.
They all get sucked into oblivion.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Mode House, like he's talking about, Manfred's talking about, he's got it for this Saturday night game. That's a really quick
Village of
conversion.
Hamlet is-
It's nice.
yeah.
Village of Hamlet's a nice, simple adventure to do it.
I'm doing B1.
Greyhawk.
Into the
All right.
unknown.
Yeah, I actually really love B1.
It's
Nothing
fantastic.
happens in B1.
And then you have to place it and make it happen.
Adventure, Jeremy. That's what happens.
It's very, very primitive, which is not a bad thing, but it's you can tell how old it is.
It's supposed to be
This is
primitive.
like-
It's to explain how to make a dungeon.
Yeah, I understand that, but like as the first module product, you can tell it's the first.
Oh, this is a modern thing with you young kids. I get it now. I see. Right. It's not shiny.
Yes, it is, Manfred. The pool room is classic. So I got a question. So do you guys think this Kickstarter is going to break 165, which is our final stretch rule?
Yes,
I didn't
How
think
much time
so,
do we have?
but yes, I
Because-
think so.
running B1 is causing me to read this. Actually,
Davis, that's not the question.
It's not a different question.
No. Because we're going to break 165 because I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh,
Everyone out there who doesn't have this needs to own this because there is so much information.
oh, it's
in
the
here.
best book there is for a dungeon master. CK. Castle
I haven't
Keeper.
read it in years, and I have
Oh,
forgotten.
it's great. We got into it this morning on the stream. How crazy it was! Some of the stuff in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, because
I'm sick.
Hey, Davis,
what?
from the
Oh.
CKG, take this corner here.
Oh, you did get it.
Oh, nice.
You
So
did get
this,
it.
all of these mats, can we see them at all in there?
Oh, I'll have to tell Mark. He's been worried to death you didn't get that.
Unfortunately, I didn't see some of these. All of these maps are in the Castle Keeper's Guide that you can get on the Kickstarter now.
Why is this? I was about to ask for this giant canvas. This is so
It's huge.
Yeah, and that canvas right there come from Noble Dwarf. So that's good
Yes,
stuff.
Noble
I'll have to tell Mark. He was worried to death, and I forgot to check back with you to see if you got it or not. So
Well, we're $80 away from 160,000.
And I'm
well,
and I'm
$78.
making the players use this.
Oh Lord.
It's the consumables. It's down to arrows, food, how much water, how much light, how far you can see. I'm going just classic starting over. Like everything matters. Everything matters.
That's the best way to do it.
Now, what I have noticed with those whom I'm playing with, they're younger, but they've played before. But the detailed exploration of those old dungeons is not a thing. I don't think.
No.
Because they're not stopping to like pick up all the little bits of information around.
Right.
And then the treasure. So treasure sometimes, I think there's one room where like there's treasure beneath 2 logs or something like that. You have to move the logs to get to the treasure, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
but
it's a fireplace or something. I don't remember.
yeah, yeah.
Wood
There's
pile.
something, yeah. And it's so, but they're not.
Right.
I'm like, you're not gonna get anything. You're here to loot.
Last time I ran that adventure, I had a group downstairs. It was in CNC, of course. They were downstairs in the caverns part, and they had all this loot. And they were like, "What are we going to do with it all?" And I said, "Well, you can take it back to the town or whatever." But they had to leave and go to the town and get wagons and all that shit to bring it back. And when they did, I made sure that the dungeon was nicely repopulated, so it was good.
Yeah, I'm having to.
It's a good
third
time.
in, but
Yeah, they
it
were pretty
matches.
mad about it.
Like there's not a skip in the rules the way it's played from CNC from AD&D to CNC.
You mean B1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there.
Not a skip.
So one of the
no.
reasons I liked B1 is because it didn't have any monsters in it. You had to put your own monsters.
Yeah, you populate it yourself.
Yeah, it teaches you how to build a dungeon out. It's really neat.
There's really probably few, maybe some 3rd edition and 4th that's not. I mean, you can convert anything to CNC fairly
Right.
easily.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
it's pretty intuitive.
except my NPCs.
He's right about that. B1's not
No, that's the
AD&D.
fifth
It's
edition.
basic.
That's
He's right
from
about.
CNC
You're right about
fifth
that,
edition.
Manfred. You're right. There's such iconic adventures that people we tend to wrap them all in with the AD&D stuff. I think just like with Isle of Dread, my favorite, which is the next module, expert module, but I absolutely love it. And I think of it as AD&D. I don't know why. I guess because I don't know. So long ago, you know.
Well, because we played it with AD&D. I mean, there was no. I never played.
Yeah, we never
B1.
really we didn't say we're going to play basic today or whatever. We
Yeah.
just played D&D, you know. So it's kind of
Yeah.
you know. I do too, Bone. It's sitting over somewhere. It's got some tape on it, though. It's in pretty rough shape. I played the shit out of that adventure back in the day.
I will say the one
There's
one thing-
so much good information in the Castles and Crusades guide. I'm into like you guys' idea to do a Castles and Crusades guide too.
Yeah, did you see what Dell suggested? If you're revisiting the CKG, make a detailed consolidated exploration section. That would be kind of cool. Section on exploring dungeons and caves and stuff or something.
Actually, what I'd like Davis to do is he's wrapping up engineering towns now.
Oh,
but
I know what you mean.
engineering caves would
what we
actually
should do is
Okay.
take all of the engineering series and combine them into one book. That would be your Castle Keeper's Guide too.
Yeah,
That's true too.
that'd be cool.
Exploration
We've
section would have
actually got-
of a great CK screen panel. Oh, that's true.
Dude, I would like so many CK panels, like dozens. Like
Oh, I know.
dozens of
I've got a bunch over here. I collect them. I love them. I do.
we were going to explore Davis's idea of doing a CK screen for each of the main adventure.
Yeah, the paths. Yeah, I think that would be good.
I like that.
Oh, if we hit 165, Canopy Green goes hardback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we
So
just
do we have a 200,000 level.
I don't think we're going to make 200,000 unless
Nah.
things go really well.
Then let's do the art book at 200,000.
Engineering wilderness. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Like the Wilderness Survival Guide and the Dungeon Survival Guide.
Yeah, my book that I've come up with, I'm going to try to sell Steve on it, is Engineering Nature. It's kind of neat. You know,
I like it.
Since everything in there is in that book's naturally based, right?
This is probably an extremely contentious opinion.
Oh God,
I
here we
do
go.
not think the Wilderness Survival Guide and Dungeoneering Survival Guide are worth anything.
Madness! I love it.
They are everything that they convey is like completely obvious things. I don't need a book to explain the obvious to me.
I
That
loved
is
them, but
my
I never.
opinion.
I love those books. I use the living crap out of the Wilderness Guide.
Jeremy's got the hot take. They're trash.
I wouldn't go
I
so
think
far
we
to
should
say
have
they're not worth the paper they're printed on. I don't think that, but
Yeah, tell him, George.
did you ever no one I'm sure someone's gonna be like, I did it, but come on, nobody used those at the table. That's not what they're for.
I used them at the table. They had the skills section in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of useful shit in there. If anything, it's good for you as a GM to build with, though. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
But Ultra Magnus just docked you 500 experience points, Jeremy.
I do not care.
George's going to level you. You're going to lose levels. You have to go to the temple, pay the man.
Right.
Give me another 500,000. I don't care.
There was another comment. Jacob Zembrum over on YouTube said Castles and Crusades hex crawl rules. Yeah, I think on CKG too. I want to get with
I've
Steve and
written
have
them.
those in there.
They're done. I just
Oh,
don't know
you've
what they're
written the
gonna do.
hex crawl stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
I know
What is
you
it?
don't, but a lot of people like it though. Steve's like,
Jeremy, on my
Have you
list-
ever looked at your map of Greyhawk and thought, boy, there's a bunch of weird squares on this thing?
Yes, and it's 30 miles a square, so they just
Yes.
can travel 30 miles in a day.
So
that was my rule.
but what's in that?
There
But
is-
what's in that square?
there is a tighter version of that where it's 1 mile or 5 mile or whatever, and you play out moving across the board.
But
with
why
different
do you
phases
need
of your day.
rules for that? Don't you just need a movement rate?
No, these
It's
aren't
not,
rules.
it's not rule. It's not rules for moving. It's a procedure for
Designing the hex layout.
designing the layout and running it so that it's kind of an emergent game rather
Right.
than, well, I've put this here and they'll hit this and then they'll hit this. It's, here's my sandbox, I've built it, and here are some rules for going around in it and how to like build it in a way that's logical.
I guess I do that all because that's literally how I run my games.
He looks like you just spoke to him in French. He's like, yeah, okay.
Can't.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's intuitive. Because you've been doing it for almost 40 years
I'll
now.
give you that. Yeah.
Okay, it's intuitive to you. And you know how when you're talking to mechanics who've been doing shit for like
I don't know
50
if I've
years,
got one or not.
and they're
It's
like,
close
well, you
by.
just attach this. And you're like, what? And they're like, this. And everything suddenly works. And you're like, oh, yeah. So, but it's going back to the basics and explaining how a map integrates with a hexing system for movement, adventures, where to put things, potentially where to put things in like that.
Yeah.
Whereas you sort of do it intuitively. And since you've been using Air for so long now, you know the whole thing by heart. So it's not even.
I'll give you that. No, and I do it a lot, and because that's the only way. I've
Right.
never used any kind of system of setting up my hexes they would just go, I'm going this direction,
Right.
and then I would describe what is in front of them, making it up as I went along.
Keep
Right,
in mind
yeah.
that this is a different type of play too. A lot of times with hex crawl, it can be that's what it is. You're just going through an area and you don't know what's there, and you're exploring each little piece. So it's like a mystery each time as you go through.
Yeah,
into the
it's
next
at
hex.
its best when it's like
right.
the king is like, oh, I have acquired this new territory and I have no idea what's in it. You guys
Right.
go out there and explore. It's like Lewis and Clark kind of.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, if you remember Isle of Dread, how they had a picture in the book of the map and it was all blank except for the hexes? That was Isle of Dread was designed as a hex crawl. The GM would color in each one of those hexes on the map as you adventured. Oh, this is swamp. You just put the little symbol or whatever, and you would uncover the land that way.
The
Sort
player
of an
would.
interactive kind of the players would sort of an interactive kind of thing, right? Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So
It's
how
neat.
basically is the hex crawl basically like, I mean, there's several ways to do it, but as a general rule, what you're looking at is
Johnny, send me a
dungeon, an overland dungeon, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
He doesn't
hexes
like
are-
dungeons, so you're not speaking to him right now.
Well, no, I mean it makes sense. I guess I can't. And Davis is probably right. I've probably been doing it for too long, and I'm not trying to say I'm a superior DM or any of that bullshit. But I mean, if I have the thing that Chuck's talking about, the Isle of Dread, and I got this blank map, and you enter it, and the first hex I want to be a forest, then I'm going to know that it's 5 or 6 hexes of forest, and then it's going to go into maybe light forest and then plain after that.
Yeah, it's just a different way to play the game.
That's just
That's
a different
all it
way.
is.
It's pretty neat though, because like you go into another area, all of a sudden there's like a giant cave there. So you got to mark the cave. Now, what's in the cave? Then you got to go explore the cave. Now you're in the dungeon. And when you come
So
back
is it
out,
like a roll for what's in the hex?
no, the GM
You
already
can
has
do
that.
it that
You can,
Well, you can do it that way. You can have a totally
Okay.
blank map
yeah,
and have
completely.
random generation of the terrain.
Right.
as a general rule, the DM knows everything, just
Right.
like in a dungeon, and the
Right.
players fill it in.
So that's just an overland adventure.
Dungeon.
It's
Yes.
just overland adventure because that's exactly what all of my adventures are. They don't know what's in front of them.
Yeah,
they
it's
just
just
go-
a different way of doing it. Is all. It's just a different way. Yeah, it's neat though. It's kind of fun to play.
But it's a
'cause you're
little
sitting-
bit. It's a little bit different because the way you manage
It
encounters
feels different. It has a
Yeah.
different feel.
and the way you manage encounters in it. Again, you do it intuitively. Other people who haven't done it,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
for as long, don't do it. It's the same reason we would have. I don't see a reason for a book called Engineering Villages because I know enough about them that I can create a village off the top of my head.
Right.
Whereas, like it helps though to have charts and some restrictions and stuff like that, or whatever. Some information.
Bear says they know the river is in front of them. Every hex has a river.
They know they're going to drown. Like I said, Aaron is just a huge river interlocked with
I
those
guess-
spaces and landforms.
Let's see. Smite and Dream says Hexcrawl feels like a bit like a Lost Art 2 with everyone these days running more and more campaign style story games. It's the least that's been experienced so far. At least that's been my experience so far. I think what you got when you guys are comparing it to Dungeons and whatnot, it is because I play my games that way, and most people don't play their games. They play dungeons, right? Most people go. into
No, they
dungeons,
don't play dungeons. They
No.
play
not in Hexcrawl or whatever.
at all. Really, it's
Yeah,
it's
dungeons are
mostly
down and out.
dungeons are kind of dead. It's
When did they die?
1992 maybe.
So
It's been
no
a
one
while.
plays dungeons anymore. That's interesting.
They do. I mean, people do, but like that's not what people play the game for.
What do they play?
So that they can embody a character and have a fun story told to them.
But what are they doing in third edition? Was it more dungeon adventures that were
No.
created, or was it more overland adventures that were
I
created?
guess you'd call it overland, but it was way less structured. It was more like the dungeon master would build a story, and you would hit all of the beats along his road.
And it's a combination of town, overland, and some dungeon areas or enclosed areas, right?
I found
But
one.
the-
I want to show you, damn. I'm tired of trying to explain this to you.
Yeah, even though
He
there are a
knows
lot
what
of,
it is.
there are a
get
lot
it.
of dungeons out there. I don't think it's not the way the vast majority of people play. Is the dungeon is
No,
the
dungeon
focus.
dungeon crawling is is not. Is
So
not
this
in
is
it
what
anymore.
the group had, Steve, to start with. Look at that. Nothing.
He's seen the adventure. I'm sure he knows.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm not
I
sure. I
get it.
didn't know if you'd seen it or not. I didn't know. So, all right.
Yeah. I get the idea of it. It's just interesting to me.
Right.
Nobody played third edition.
Dungeons
because
are
we were
boring.
doing 5 jobs to keep up with the book publishing schedule. That's the truth.
Let's see. Hexcrawl feels like a bit of a lost art too, with everyone these days running more and more campaign style story games. At least that's very true, because Hexcrawls was something you just set out the table and you just go. There's no
and in the hex crawl, there's no plot or anything, right?
Not
No,
really.
it's just
exploring.
reveling. It's just an exercise in
Right.
exploration.
So a
all
really
it
great
is.
area for like an air for someone to do a hex crawl. Say, for example, if I were playing again, I'd say, let's do a hex crawl, Ken. So on the east side of the map,
Yeah.
you know how you have all that land that goes out for freaking ever that it's not detailed?
Yeah.
Then I could sit there and say, that's where my group is going. We're going to go there and we're just going to map this shit out
Right.
and send it back to a university, which would force you to get a hex map and start mapping shit out so that you know if we go somewhere, X and X and X is there. And that's what a hex crawl is. And it's not going to be tied to some overarching campaign idea. Just like Lewis and Clark, as Jeremy suggested, we're just going out exploring and going back, and adventures will happen along the way.
That's very interesting, because that is literally how I've been playing for 4
I know.
years.
It's so intuitive to you. I think that
Yeah, it's very odd that you need to codify it at all. I mean, it's very odd to me.
Well,
that
it's like
you-
it's like
very-
it's like
it's like the dungeon exploration procedure. We don't have a procedure for how you explore a dungeon. But if you are brand new to the game, you may need that to know, okay, I check for monsters this frequently. This is how I track the light of my torches. This is how I handle movement. This is how I handle random encounters. All that kind of stuff. Where you just kind of like, no, yeah, it seems like it's been long enough. Roll.
Yeah.
In prior games where you might be writing to an audience that's never played a game before, you would have more detailed procedures of what to do.
Well,
Very, very
I got some good news and some bad news.
And
oh, I'm sorry, Jeremy. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
whoever is hitting their table, I can hear that.
that's me.
Oh.
Of course, it's
So we've crossed the 160,000 mark. We're over halfway to 161.
Yep.
And we got to go. So I do some giveaways. We'll be
gonna
back,
shut this
though.
one down early today.
So what are we going to
we'll
do
be
later
back
this
today.
evening? Are we going to stay here for
Right.
3 hours and talk?
Yes, we're going to log on at 8 o'clock, and we're going to chat until the thing winds down.
Oh
and
gosh.
So we're going to play a
do
game?
live reading.
I don't know what we're going to do.
Oh, one of those deals. I got you. Okay. whatever.
Yes, Troller Games, man.
I got it.
Be here at 8. Who
I'm
knows?
going to do a live reading of
God.
a letter I got from the District Court of Delaware.
Oh, Lord. That sounds like a lot of
Do-
fun. Wow.
Do not do that.
Do not do
TLG pledge
that.
drive style. That's right. We're going to get Tyler in here.
A Chapter 11
Yeah.
bankruptcy, of which I may be part of.
Announce the Kickstarter for
Oh.
Castles Aggie.
Yeah, they're trying to do it. What was the other one? Castles Crusades Hex Crawl. Announce that one. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
that'd be awesome.
You got to explain to me what it is first. And
Well, we're going to be, Lando, I'll let you know, this stream's going to be from 8 until 11 Central. So we're going to be up pretty late. It's going to be Troll Lord After Dark for sure.
Troll Lord After Dark.
Yeah, it's going to be freaking interesting because I'll be up for 24 hours by then.
Yeah, so
Well,
we'll
then
either
you're
be, and
not.
it may just be Chuck and I. I don't know if Jeremy will make it. We don't know if Davis will be around, or Grace said she might be able to make it.
Listen, dude,
I'll make it.
I
And
sent
if-
Stephanie
I don't
out
go to bed
early.
until 1 o'clock anyway, so if Chuck passes out, I'll just sit
No, I'm
there.
good. I sent her out down to the project. I've got me some powder. I'm good, man. I'll be up all night. I'm ready to go.
Got me some powder.
All right, I'm gonna close these entries out for the giveaways. We'll do y'all 3 out here real quick. All right, first winner up for a $10 PDF. If you're new to us, there'll be a link that drops in the chat. Please join our Discord, and you can ask Obsidian Risk or just ask in the chat, and we'll get you a code and hand it to you. Yeah, that's what we're going with. We'll do these giveaways real fast here. First up, Lando, the Arch Magi, giver of Dr. Pepper Virtual.
Yes.
Nice win. Nice win. Next up is
Wait, doesn't he win every time?
no,
No,
brother,
he's just
though.
here a lot.
Yeah, MSN 2012 Gaming. He's another regular. He's won. He's also new to the community.
Those are-
All right, let me check 1 second here. Gotta check an important message coming. my
Hopefully you
way.
can hop in, Jim.
Do what?
I was talking to the people in the chat.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you said my name. My apologies. All right. Last but not least, Sundance Kid 007. Congrats. Congrats. All right. I tell you what we're going to do. I am going to hop over here. We'll be back, like I said, at 8 p.m. Central tonight. If for some reason you
Yes,
can't catch us tonight, we'll be back tomorrow. I think we'll have our regular stream tomorrow in the afternoon at 4:30 Central. You can come by and hang out with the whole staff. Hopefully, we'll have some more people on here hanging out. Besides us, well, we got Jeremy. He's news.
Jeremy's like, what?
Yeah, roughly 3 hours, Smitten Dreams, and we're gonna do something. I don't know what. It's a mystery, evidently. I wasn't aware of that, but it's fine.
I've told you like 8 times today, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Hey, thanks again, Jake.
Thank
We
you
appreciate that. Really, thanks, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We will hit that last stretch goal. I have no doubt we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll hit it.
Yeah,
I
we
am
will
confident.
hit
I'm very confident.
All
Yeah,
right,
we'll
we'll
be
see
here at
you.
8 o'clock tonight.
Yep. We'll see you guys later. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon, evening.